Yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan.
I took a look at Donald Trump's website, his platform. So hers, I should note, has drop downs for everything. So you click on it and then you can read a couple paragraphs about how she would do it. And then they very smartly also talk about how Project 2025 would completely dismantle the way that they're going to approach it and what the outcome would be there if Donald Trump was able to win. But his site is as unspecific.
Project 25 is not
okay,
Donald
well, you
Trump.
should watch the interview with Caitlin Collins, of one of the founders of it, where he actually almost slips up and says it. Everyone at Heritage is laughing at the fact that Donald Trump is trying to pawn this off as if he's not related to it. But you go on his site and you look at his, he denies everything, Judge. We've talked about this. He says, seal the border and stop migrant invasion. No detail, no drop down. How are you going to do that? This might be my favorite. Unite our country by bringing it to new and record levels of success. Well, that sounds nice. What does that mean? We know he doesn't have a plan for lowering inflation except to ask all the heads of the agencies to come together and do it. He thinks tariffs pay for childcare. He thinks tariffs pay for everything. So when you're going to ding her repeatedly for being unserious and lacking in detail, take a look at their actual platforms and see who the person who has detail is and who the person is that is completely lacking in specificity and seriousness.
Someone give this woman a raise, or at least some earmuffs for when she's not talking. Another week in US politics means ample opportunity for the former president to get on stage and address the nation in his relentless quest to grift.
Special. I think you're going to love it. My new Trump watches.
From trading cards to coins to his latest bling. A watch modestly priced at $100,000 for those most impacted by this brutal Biden-Harris economy.
Watches, and the quality to me is very important. The Trump Victory Tourbillon. This isn't just any watch. It's one of the best watches made. It's a tourbillon watch with almost 200 grams of gold and more than 100 real diamonds. That's a lot of diamonds. I love gold. I love diamonds. We all do. Only 147 of these extraordinary watches will ever exist in the world, and owning one puts you in a very exclusive club. I have watch number one, and I'm going to keep it. It's mine, and that's the way I want to have it. Each watch is numbered and extremely rare, a true collector's item, and it includes a personal letter signed by me. Get your Trump watch right now. Go to gettrumpwatches.com. It's Trump time.
So brutal, by the way, that the market can't stop crashing up the way, leaving Fox News host Larry Kudlow fighting tears on camera.
Blue chips, the S&P 500 also closing at all-time highs. Tomorrow, the financials did really well. As we were watching over the past several months, we've got former TD Ameritrade CEO Joe Mowgli at a game, how they will do in dropping rates. That'll do it for us. Kudlow's next.
So, day after Fed Chairman Jay Powell sent Kamala Harris a 50 basis point election gift and completely contradicted himself on the economy, whatever, the stock market roared, okay?
But here's what you won't find on his website, amidst the Bibles and the merch: specifics on what he plans on doing if he's to be elected. In fact, as Fox host Jessica Tarlov pointed out, much to the dismay of her co-hosts, he doesn't even have drop-down options for his big, bold, beautiful headlines.
And now the child tax credit.
Wait, what?
Now that
the child tax credit?
Yeah. President Trump started it, and then she upped it. She upped it,
Okay,
and the camo hats, and the tax on tips, and now crypto.
So A, that's not true.
Okay.
B, child poverty was cut in half when the Biden-Harris administration implemented the child tax credit and the Republicans got rid of it. If Tim Walz is as terrible and embarrassing as you guys think he is, why does he have a +7 favorability and J.D. Vance and Trump both have a -13? And Kamala's at +3. What's going on? What's going on with this loser with the clean air filter, right? That people seem to like.
Capital L.
Which is indicative of a man who, when pressed in front of the world on his healthcare policy, gave us just another memorable quote akin to "childcare is childcare," and we thought about the disinfectant via injection.
Yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan. I'm not president right now. But if we come up with something, I would only change it if we come up with something that's better and less expensive. And there are concepts and options we have to do that. And you'll be hearing about it in the not too distant future. She is Biden. You know, she's trying to get away from Biden. I don't know the gentleman, she says.
Clearly,
I am not Joe Biden, and I am certainly not Donald Trump. And what I do offer is a new generation of leadership for our country. One who believes in what is possible, one who brings a sense of optimism about what we can do instead of always disparaging the American people. I believe in what we can do to strengthen our small businesses, which is why I have a plan. Let's talk about our plans and let's compare the plans. I have a plan to give startup businesses $50,000 tax deduction, to pursue their ambitions, their innovation, their ideas, their hard work. I have a plan, $6,000 for young families for the first year of your child's life, to help you in that most critical stage of your child's development. I have a plan.
Whereas, as Tarlov points out, Kamala Harris has outlined in detail her plans for reducing the cost of healthcare, further capping prescription drugs, offering more in child tax credits, small business tax benefits with less red tape, and
that is about allowing people to be able to pursue what has been fleeting in terms of the American dream by offering a help with down payment of $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. That's the kind of conversation, I believe, David, that people really want tonight, as opposed to a conversation that is constantly about belittling and name-calling. Let's turn the page.
Vice President.
this is the one that Fox News hosts are spending endless hours rambling over, how she hasn't offered any specifics.
Someone whispers something to her ear, fine, do it. No thought at all. Harris is having a bad day, watch out. Kamala Harris is like a child. She hasn't put a single thought into anything and says whatever it takes to get a cookie. She doesn't share, she tattles, and on top of that, she's mean. And she's not allowed to sit at the grown-up table, no way, because she can't behave. She's coddled, spoiled, and she's sheltered from real life. She's like a child actress. Feed her the lines and cash the check.
Tell me, please, what part of this is specific?
I think when you talk about the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, that because the child care is child care. There's something, you have to have it. In this country, you have to have it. But when you talk about those numbers compared to the kind of numbers that I'm talking about by taxing foreign nations at levels that they're not used to, but they'll get used to it very quickly. And it's not going to stop them from doing business with us, but they'll have a very substantial tax when they send product into our country. Those numbers are so much bigger than any numbers that we're talking about, including childcare, that it's going to take care. We're going to have, I look forward to having no deficits within a fairly short period of time, coupled with the reductions that I told you about on waste and fraud and all of the other things that are going on in our country, because I have to stay with childcare. I want to stay with childcare, but those numbers are small relative to the kind of economic numbers that I'm talking about, including growth, but growth also headed up by what the plan is that I just told you about.
Child care is child care. That guy talking isn't the problem. It's those people clapping that have brought this country to this crisis point in its history as a democracy.
What part of this is outlining a plan?
At levels that nobody has ever seen before. In addition to Aurora, Colorado, there's a place called Springfield, Ohio, that you've been reading about. 20,000 illegal Haitian immigrants have descended upon the town of 58,000 people, destroying their entire way of life. This was a beautiful community, and now it's horrible what's happened.
What part of this is even intelligible, let alone actionable?
They built a toilet for $1.7 million. And it's not even nice. I saw
Former
pictures
President Donald Trump continues this week there in Rancho Palos Verdes, California, John. He started about 1:26. He's been going for about 34 minutes so far, 35 minutes or so and counting, and really laying out
I mean, the difference between both candidates could not be more stark, as the polls continue to show.
We know that his policies will be more inflationary. He's going to add something like $5.8 trillion to the deficit. Kamala only $1.2 trillion. And when he continues to say, well, I'm going to do these things, I'm going to have the cost of energy no plan to do it. The tariffs, that is not good economic policy. This is going to add a 20% tariff to some goods. That's not just something that you throw around. That's something that could be devastating for the American economy. And so you can rail about her. You can call her incompetent. And frankly, it's been shown as well that people do not take well to him standing up there and continually insulting her in that tone. But people are hearing what she's saying about her plans, the progress we've made, and what she's going to continue to do. And that's why his edge is being decreased every time a new survey comes out.
Okay, it is.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.